Sweet comic Valentine. Think I'd leave you down, you're down on your knees. I wouldn't do that. You don't have to say you love me. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say you're mine, honey. Let me just sit here for a minute. Good morning. How are we doing today? Okay. Well, happy Valentine's Day. And in case no one tells you today, I love you. Would you be my Valentine today? Anyway, remember at some point to get up, to stretch a little bit, drink some water, take your meds if that applies to you. Eat something if you can. And I hope that you do remember that you are loved. You matter. I'm so glad you're here with me. And I hope that you have a good day. Or do what you need to do to survive the day. So it's technically a virtual day, but I'm going to get myself some coffee and go into the office. I want to meet with some teachers about a couple things, and then I'll go home and finish the rest of the day virtually. I got these dollar stores. These dollar stores from the jar. I got these jars from the dollar store to keep my tea in because I bought this green tea and I've got this black tea. They're not pre-wrapped. They're just kind of loose that way. And I thought, hey, this would kind of help, continue with my love of making tea time a vibe, right? Taking them out of cute little glass jars is so much more fun than out of a cardboard box. Well, since it's Valentine's Day, it seemed appropriate to talk a little bit about love. My wife and I have been married it'll be 19 years in April. We've been together for, add 3 to that, so 22 years. And we've known each other for about 23, 24 years. We're at the point where we've been friends for more than half of our lives, which is so wild. I've spent more time with her than without her at this point. And it's funny when I watch movies where there's relationships and there's always some point in the fight where someone says, "You're not the person I married, or you're not the person I fell in love with." And at first, I was always like, yeah. And then as time went on, I was like, because I'm not the same person my wife fell in love with and married, and she's not the same person. Meaning, we've grown, we've evolved, we've changed over time. And so for us, part of being in love, of loving each other, is not just loving the person we met, not just loving the person we married, it's loving the person that we become. Does that make sense? Like, I don't just love her. I love who she's become and who she's becoming. In another 5 years, she'll be different. And I'll be different. I hope. I don't think that it would be a good thing if in my now approaching mid-40s, I was the same when I was in my early 20s. That's not, those two versions of me don't work for the world and the things that are required of me now, the things that I want to do. The things that are in my heart, my dreams require me to evolve and to grow, and her dreams require her to evolve and to grow. And we try our best to cheer each other on as we grow, as we try new things, as we evolve. And it can be scary. It can be scary when the person that you spend the most of your time with changes and grows and has growing pains. It's not easy. We're both spending time, and we're supposed in therapy and dealing with things from our childhood, and healing is an ugly process. It's not pretty. And yeah. So I guess that's just my first thought, is that when you fall in love with somebody, when you're attracted to somebody, you have to remember that that person has their own agency, their own mind, and they're not going to stay in the exact same place as they were when you were initially attracted to them. Anyway, all right, let's get to work. Enough mumblings about love. Done with the in-office part of my day. I left my water bottle at a coffee shop the other day, so we're gonna go see if it's still there and work on a project while we're there, and of course get a cup of coffee. No point in wasting a trip to a coffee shop, right? Off we go. So, I am about to enter the woods by myself for the first time since, since December. The rest of the workday went well, and the weather, it's like 50s, mid 50s maybe, I think. I don't know. It's a little bit cool, but it's not cold. I need to be careful. And, I wish you could just smell that. It's just so good to be surrounded by trees. Oh, I have needed this so much. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about earlier about love and how people change. I do want to be clear. I am not talking about abusive scenarios or situations where the person changes in a way that is harmful to you. That's not what I'm talking about here. That is an entirely different conversation. I'm talking about when, their interests change, their health changes, they discover something new about themselves, and they're trying to share that with you or enter into the next stage of their life and who they are. That is what I'm talking about here. When I talk about my wife and I changing, our love for each other hasn't changed. It's, it's things like, me discovering that, actually it was her discovering that I'm autistic, and me, stimming more. And sometimes it's vocal stimming, and some of my vocal stims get on her nerves, and then we talk about it, and how do we, find that compromise for me to be myself without thoroughly driving her crazy, and her making space for me to be who I am. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how we change, we evolve, and we grow, and you're not just loving the person that you met, but you're also hopefully loving who they become. So how about you? Have you had that experience where you've been in a relationship for a number of months or years, and you notice that you're different, maybe they're different, and what obstacles came up as you navigated that change, and how did you move past it? Let me know. All right, friends, I'm going to walk for another minute, and then I'm going to go home and rest, and it is time for your next adventure. I love you guys. I'll miss you.